Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons, we're going to check out the brand new Auric Warhound, which looks like a really sick pet, and it's going to work really well, obviously, with the new cavalry. Now, in case you missed it, I covered the new cavalry in yesterday's video. The other day? I've lost track of time. Card will be in the end screen if you want a breakdown of the new calves, which look outstanding, by the way. I'm not even really a cavalry player, but I will say of cavalry that they are way more relevant than they've ever been. In fact, they're way more balanced than they've ever been in the current state of the game, and I would say it's way better than it's ever been. So cavalry are awesome. Will the Auric Warhound be an awesome pet to go with them? I think the answer is yes, but let's review what skills are on this thing and what you could put on this to maximize its punch. So, of course, we're going to start with a review of the talent skill. The talent skill deals diffused physical skill damage to 2 enemy legions. Now, look, I don't know if this is like cone AoE or jump AoE, like, jumping from one target to the next. Jump is not the word. Chaining, I suppose, would be the right word. But, I'm very interested in the way that this damage is dealt. Okay, and maybe we'll just run this pet out real quick and see what happens. The War Pet's Legion takes 1.1% less normal attack damage for 3 seconds. Now, that's interesting. I thought this number was higher. Well, I think it is at the higher level of the talent skill. We'll get a look at that. Each time the Legion gains rage via an innate skill, so the 5 skills that a hero starts out with, the 4 skills plus the awakening, it gains 1 stack of Auric Mark up to 5 stacks. So basically what this is doing is if you pair with the new cavalry hero that gives 50 rage per second for the next 5 seconds, you're going to get the max stacks on this. And each stack of Auric Mark increases damage dealt by the next War Pet skill by 1.1% base. 1 stack of Auric Mark can be consumed every 1 second. So, look, if we want to really understand what this pet can do, this is an agility-based skill. Let's look at a pet that's got a high agility ranking. The highest we could get to is 321 agility. So if we were to just take a look at this on my Moon Bear, which has 304 agility, that might be the best sort of way to get a sense of okay, how crazy could this be? Low-key flexing all my pets right now. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Let's look at this with my Moon Bear. We go to skills, go to 3-star, scroll on down, look at the talent skill. Here it is. So when maxed out, see, this is what I was saying. Maybe this number should be green. War Pet's Legion takes 5% less normal damage for 3 seconds. So that's good. So this pet is doing like a pet stuff sort of an effect, and also hero stuff. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a long time, and I hope that you will subscribe, you know that I think of pets as being either hero enhancing or pet enhancing. And ideally, you want it to do one or the other and not both. The perfect example of a pet that does a little bit of both, but is very much like hero damage enhancing, would be the Shadow Phaedrake, because it applies a debuff onto the enemy that makes them take more damage from the hero pairing that deployed this debuff. So I mention this because this pet is doing a sort of blend here, which is a little weird. An example of a pet that does not do a blend would be like the Golden Rock, where this pet, once you have gained a passion buff from your hero skills, it just is doing skill damage. It's really just here to do skill damage, okay? So that's an example of a pet that moves all in on just doing pet things. So this is a pet that's doing a blend. Again, that blend is a little bit of damage mitigation, which is kind of a cool anti-swarm mechanic, reducing the normal attack damage you take. But if we go back over here again and we're trying to look at the damage, Cheesy, stay on target here, buddy. We are looking at 120 base damage factor plus 243 damage factor on top. Let's just round it up to 245, maybe 250 when maxed out. Let's just call it 250 because you could technically have more agility. So when totally maxed out, you're looking at 370 damage factor, but it's hitting 2 targets, which could be extremely powerful. Now, that is less single target damage factor than you can get on other pets. I was showing you the Golden Rock a moment ago, and the Golden Rock is really good single target damage. Okay, way more single target damage, in fact. But you're only hitting one thing. right? Now, I'm not saying Golden Rock is better. I'm saying these things are different. And we need to look at this new pet in the context of what if you use it in the garrison? We look at this new pet in the context of what do you use it? What if you use it in the open field, right? So here we're looking at 485 damage factor, which is way more damage factor, right? Than what you're getting for the 485 is way more than what we said was the 370. Okay, so you have much more damage potential with a Golden Rock, but if you hit multiple targets, then immediately you're doing way more damage with Outburst. Now, the next skill you can get to enhance Outburst is a damage boost. Okay, now I need to pick a pet with a higher luck rating to really give you a sense of how high this can go. So we'll do that in a minute. On this pet, which is mid-luck, we're looking at 45% total enhancement, but I think you can do better. Over here, Intense Outburst increases the pet skill damage bonus by 5% plus another 10%, so by 15%. So presumably, what happens here is this is increasing it by 5%. The other skill over here is giving you another 15, so you're looking at a total of 20%. Each stack of Auric Mark increases damage by the next War Pet skill by 20% total is what you could get to, which seems pretty good. So, I mean, obviously, this pet is designed to have these three skills easily. It's like not rocket science to figure out, like, yeah, you're probably going to need these three skills. But in addition, there's other stuff we got to get a look at here. So I do want to see how much can we get this advanced outburst to get to. So if you had a pet with like a really high luck score, and I'm sure that I've got one. Here we go. Okay, I don't know if you can get a 340 luck score on a Auric Warhound, but like, you know, how high does this go? 65% bonus damage. Good God, son. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow. The Auric Warhound, okay, you're going to want strength, you're going to want agi, you're going to want luck, obviously. Strength can go to 347, luck can go to 321. Agi can go to 321, luck can go to 304. So you can actually get as high as I was just showing. This pet doesn't go that far. But what skills would you put on this thing? There's really like two packages of skills that I care about here. Package number one is the package that I've got over here. It is the Fatal Bite package. Okay, Fatal Bite package means you get Angry Roar, Blood Roar, Fatal Bite. Okay, so you've got the three skills that are pet oriented that that is specific to that pet. You get the three skills: Angry Roar, Blood Roar, Fatal Bite, ideally. And that leaves you only 2 skill slots, right? If you had an 8-slot pet, which is kind of rough because I think we need more agi skills. The final package of skills, I think we're out of agi slots. The final package of skills that I think you're supposed to put on this thing, okay, is going to be the, now I can't think of the name, the Fierce Attack package, right? So it's going to be Fierce Attack, Intense Fierce Attack, and also the End of Season reward. So if I go to the Exchange House here, okay, and we look at these skills, the first thing you're going to get is the Fierce Attack, which I suppose I can just filter by strength here, which is going to just do a ton of damage, okay? Right over Streamblind Chisgule, there it is. So this is going to do a ton of physical damage, okay? I don't know why I'm looking at this in the shop. I'm a lunatic. I can just look at this on my pets. A ton of physical damage, right? In fact, if I look at this on my Moon Bear, which has 345 strength, okay? Like the amount of damage you could be dealing, how much damage could you do, Chisgule? Fierce Attack, 40% chance to do... What is this, 528 damage factor? Seems good, right? Like, seems good. The issue is that this skill has only a 40% chance to trigger, which is why you would ideally also get Intense Fierce Attack, which is giving you even more trigger chance on your Fierce Attack, To me, that feels like the pickup. Okay. And then we've built our Auric Warhound at this point. There is one other skill we can talk about, but I don't think you have the Agi skill slots available for advanced fierce attack, which is just increasing the damage dealt. Okay. Blocking it. So yeah. I think you take fierce attack, intense fierce attack on a pet with enough luck. Like you can see here with even my low luck score on this, I am more than doubling my chance of getting a fierce attack to trigger, which I think of that mentally as like over time it averages out, but like this is more than doubling my fierce attack damage, which is kind of insane, right? Because if it triggers twice as much or more than twice as much, that's massive. So this is 45% on a low luck pet. If I were to pick a high luck pet, which you can't replicate this level of luck, but you know, whatever. Let's just get a look for funsies here. But in the right context, you can crank the trigger chance by 65%. So you can get to 100% chance to trigger. Technically, you can get to over 100% chance to trigger. So somebody work out for me how the heck that works. I guess that's protection maybe against skills that reduce your chance to trigger. There's only one of those, right? Interruption, right? War pet trigger chance reduction. Anyways, I've gone off the deep end. So how would I build this Warhound? I would take Outburst, Advanced Outburst, and Intense Outburst. That puts us at 2 Agi skills, 1 luck skill. I would take the crit chance, crit damage package, okay? Which is Angry Roar, which now has us at 3 Agi skills, Blood Roar, which is at 2 luck skills, and Fatal Bite, which is now 1 strength skill. And then I would take Fierce Attack, which puts us at 2 strength skills, and Intense Fierce Attack, which puts us at 3 luck skills. So Agi, luck are the 2 most important attributes, followed by strength. But strength is very important in this build that we're doing. And I think that's how I would build this pet. Now, there's a couple reasons why that's outstanding. First of all, it's amazing single target damage. Second of all, we're talking about cavalry. Like when you rush an enemy, you get instant activation of active skills, depending on what you're charging, right? And so that would mean you almost immediately get fierce attack plus the active skill of your pet to trigger. And then the crit chance, crit damage package is just completely busted, generally speaking, right? Like you can get to 100% chance to crit and over 100% crit damage. In fact, I've done that right over here on this pet with a low luck score. So, right? Like here's a ridiculous amount of crit chance. Here's a ridiculous amount of crit chance. If I had a high luck score, like this pet would be insane. And you know, here's over 100% crit damage. Weirdly, they just added a change that makes it so that 8 slot pets are more likely to have good attributes, which is, I mean, I already put fruit into this 7 slot pet because it was nearly maxed on the most important attributes. So I'm kind of scratching my head on what I'm supposed to do now with this thing. I'm not going to re-roll it for the 8th slot. Like the attributes are just so high, but also it's kind of whatever. I don't need to talk about how that change affects me right now. The point is that the Auric Warhound looks awesome. I think he's going to be great. I showed you how I would build it. We talked about what some alternate skills would be. We didn't really talk about where you get some of those skills, which are end of season skills. So if you wanted to get advanced fierce attack, that's an EOS skill. Great news for you. I don't think you need it. This just enhances fierce attack damage. I don't think you need it. You could even make an argument that Tooth and Claw might be better. I don't know that's accurate or not, but you could make that argument. And then over here, Advanced Outburst, right? That is the outburst damage enhancer, and it's a major enhancer of that. So that's a big pickup right there. Yeah. All in all, feel pretty cool about the Auric Warhound. Will I go for EOS skills on this thing? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to keep hoarding up Amber, I guess, for other projects. I do think I will work on an Auric Warhound, and maybe I do take the EOS skill. I don't know. You know, look, if we talk about which of these I think is more important, I think it's going to depend a lot on who you're pairing with. Oh, the new heroes are here. I can even show them to you. I don't know. I hadn't noticed that. This is the skill that's giving you the rage every second for the 5 seconds. That's like, obviously this is who the Auric Warhound is meant to be paired with. There are other heroes that give rage. Like, for example, Bahorn gives rage. So Bahorn could, weirdly enough, like, have a synergy here that would not be bad, right? So Bahorn gains rage for each of these legions hit, but I don't know what the Bahorn synergy is exactly. If that would, because you can get 30 rage 3 times in this one hit, gives you 3 stacks on the Auric Warhound or 1. I don't really know of a great way to see the number of stacks you have, but I do want to see like how this diffused damage works. So let's just hit this thing real quick. In fact, let's bring out Bahorn. Why not, right? We'll use Thea. We'll use Bahorn. I guess I gotta switch to Flying Marksman for it to suggest the right thing here. Maybe. Yep, there it is. And we just switcheroo this. Oh, it's untamed. Okay, let's get affectionate with the Auric Warhound. Ayo. Let's do the thing, chat. Whatever. This is fine. So we need to take somebody out of my enclosure. It's going to be, I guess you. See you later. And then put you in the enclosure. And let's, give you some love. GG. By the way, I was 0 out of 5 on my, these little scrolls, warrants to catch pets. And I bought 1 warrant from the store, and it took me up to 17 out of 5. I guess it used literally all of them, so I'm going to have to go catch a bunch of pets now. Okay, so the Auric Warhound, let's give you some gifts. This I used it a couple times. This should be good, right? Hello? Give? Wait, what? Can I not? What's going on? Am I doing this wrong? Give? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Internet problems, BRB. Okay. Now that my internet's stable. All right, cool. We reached level 2. Woohoo! We can send it out into battle, chat. Okay. Let's actually send this thing out now. Bahorn. Auric Warhound. I want to see this AoE damage, bro. Do the thing. Do your worst. Actually, do your best, please. Okay. We'll see if we see like an AoE template or like what goes on here. Strike of Light. Okay. Chat, I might have missed it, but I didn't see an animation for it. I saw like a very small amount of damage. Oh, wait, there it was. It was like that X animation, wasn't it? Really cool animation, actually. That's so cool. I wonder if I need to like... This guy intercepted me. How do you... Bro, I'm flying. I thought... Whatever. I don't know how this game works, apparently. I can get intercepted while flying. Okay, I'm slowed. What I want to do is get this AoE to like hit multiple of these guys. I don't know if I can pull that off right now or not. There's Bahorn AoE. I'm not seeing AoE onto this guy. Let me try to like stack them more, maybe. How does this AoE work, bro? Okay, they've got to be stacked now. I mean, if the AoE doesn't work here, it's just not going to work, right? Boom. I don't think it worked, man. I don't think I'm getting AoE to go. Someone will have to leave a comment on how this pet AoE works. Long story short, this AoE damage, assuming it's maybe is different against players, seems very powerful. But also on the new heroes, if you're using Lieshan Yan, I think that because it has the passion buff here, I think that a golden rock will also be quite appropriate. So if you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. I'll update the pinned comment with how this AoE works once I figure it out. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everyone.